and welcome to another episode of Random Chats with Dade and Jude. I am Dade. Dade. And today, we're going to talk something that I believe in. Do you believe in, Jude?
Yes.
Okay. I love the pause. And this. Does this help you think?
Yes.
Sorry, people who are listening online, go and check out the YouTube version, but she's touching her face with all of her fingers. That's what she's doing right now, to think. So I'd like to create that visual for you. Yeah, I believe. I'm a believer. So what are we talking about, Jude?
Well, today we are talking about aliens.
Ooh. I'm not sure why I'm doing the noise. I just hear this like sound, this sci-fi sound going through my head.
Yeah.
Think of do 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 do. Oh, that's something we could talk about. What was that TV program from? Oh, it will come back to me. There was a TV program which explored all these different kind of stuff.
More community.
It was, oh my God. We are talking about aliens today, just to let you know. So let's start with
definitely
the legendary Robin Williams. I'm sorry. I just need to, like, one of my favorite actors ever. Loved him. Sorry to go on a tangent, but that man was a genius, a comic genius, a beautiful man. He is missed, and I loved every single one piece of his work. And in Mork and Mindy, it's actually one of the first times I ever thought of an alien in that kind of sense. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Mork and Mindy came over to the UK when we were definitely younger, and I remember watching it. But I think my first real interaction was with the classic E.T.
Right. Because that was going to be one of my questions today. When was the first time you actually saw or understood what an alien was?
I think it has to be E.T.
Yeah. Do you want a definition of what an alien is first?
Yes, absolutely.
We do like Dave's definitions.
Dave's definition.
Oh my God!
Oh. Now. Come on, Dave's definition.
Yeah. All right. So, alien is a foreigner, especially one who is not a naturalized citizen of a country where they are living, according to this.
No, you got the alien version of...
No. So this is it. I've got three. So that's that. But I will say, living in America, I am classed as an alien.
Me too.
And that's why, because of that definition. And the other one, a hypothetical or fictional being from another world.
Hypothetical or fictional being from another world.
And I'm like, who said that they're fictional?
Right. What about, doesn't extraterrestrial mean not of living on planet Earth as well?
Let me get up extraterrestrial.
I'm not sure, but I think.
Keep talking. But yeah, go back to your ET thing. That was like one of the first times I saw an alien.
I mean, and not only did they make obviously the movie of the moment. I mean, it was even now when I look back, I still appreciate just how awesome that movie was. Even though you can tell how cobbled together those kind of moments were. But when you are like what we were, 5 when that came out, 6 or whatever. I just can't.
Steven Spielberg for one.
Oh.
2, Drew Barrymore. Like, come
on the planet.
And then also E.T. so cute. I cried when he went.
I still do. I remember that moment when, obviously being a mum, and you get to relive these kind of like big blockbuster childhood movies that you have so much emotional connection to, and then when you get to share that love with your own children. I remember us watching it and I wasn't sure which way it was going to go, because as a kid I remember being quite scared by it, by E.T. himself, until you got to the halfway through.
You got to know him.
But I was right at the point. We cried and cried, and it still had the same power that it had way back when. Do you know what I mean?
Didn't you want to get a BMX bike after that?
Absolutely. I mean, oh, the actors in that were just brilliant. Everything about it is amazing. I can't say enough about
it. Great Halloween costume. Like, just put a thing, like a white sheet over yourself and just have a glowing figure. All right, but I went to look up a definition of extraterrestrial. Get this. All right. A hypothetical or fictional being, once again, from outer space, especially of intelligent nature. And you're like, why is it fictional? Who's just like, really?
Well, this is
But
what
that's why we believe, because, wow, there's nothing ever been reported of. Well, actually, that's a lie. There has been things that reported of aliens being around, and I'm always like, we are a very tiny speck in the middle of a universe, so small, like tiny. And there's lots of stars and universes and everything out there. There is not just us in this universe. They can't be. Like,
no. And logic would definitely lean in that way. But I think what we're going to be talking about today is going to polarize a lot of people. You're either going to be the believer or the non-believer. And I think in amongst everything in between that, there's a whole load of stuff. Like when you were just talking then, I was thinking to myself, what about all the cover-ups, the government cover-ups?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I do, like if you think of Area 51, like, Area 51, it's like, because I've got the definition of, I've got how they define that as well. But it's like, you've seen it in movies like Independence Day, great alien movie, right?
Yeah.
I watched that movie so many times. Like, America's coming to kick out. Of course, America's coming to save the day and take on the aliens and things like that. And where because of it has such intense security. And if you don't know where Area 51 is, it is
Arizona.
Arizona.
It is Arizona.
Yeah.
Now, is it?
Oh, no. Area is located in the southern portion of Nevada, 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas.
Oh, my bad. Nevada. Okay.
I should go. I'm always in Vegas.
If you want to go, I will go with you.
Let's go to Area 51.
I'm super curious. Is this a space that people have, or whoever owns the land, American government, whatever, I don't know, I don't want to label it, but is this just something that has been created to create the myth and the excitement and the anticipation over something? Or is there actually some real nuts and bolts and, something to grab hold of and get your teeth into about Area 51 that leans into the belief that aliens exist?
Well, yes, we're definitely doing it because I'd love to go. But it says it has lots of security. And I was just going to say how they define it. Due to this intense security around the base, it is made frequent subject to conspiracy theories. An essential component of unidentified flying objects folklore. Interesting. It has been declared a secret base, and all research in occurrences 51 is top secret and confidential. The CIA publicly acknowledged the base's existence in 25th of June 2013. Interesting. So they had kept it secret all the way up until that time.
Until 2013?
2013, until, let me just read this again, until following a Freedom of Information Act requested and filed in 2005 and declassified documents detailing the history and its purpose. They say it's for training for the United States Air Force, but we don't believe that.
Do they have an alien there that they're keeping alive? And what's going on here? Like, I want to unravel it. I want to find out more about it.
Also, because in Independence Day, the film, that's where they head, right? That's where they go. The president's like, oh no, of course I would know of something if there was aliens, and there's one of the security people go, so I think there's something I need to tell you, and that's where they head.
It's interesting. I feel like we need to go. We need to visit. But do they even let you go in? Like, or is it just that you're just going to get to this Area 51?
No, I don't know. We'd have to research. I don't want to drive all the way there and there's nothing there.
No, absolutely. Well, the downside, Dave, you just head on straight to Vegas. I mean, worst thing we can do.
But also, because also there was the Roswell incidents of many UFO claim that Roswell there was UFO debris and delivered from an alien craft. That was way back in 1947.
Wow.
So, yeah. So lots could how can you I know if you don't believe in them, fine. I just do. That's why we started. I'm a believer, Jude's a believer. And I just kind of go, look, That's the thing. But okay, so let me ask a question. If they came and visited us in this world, two questions. How would you react? And how do you think the world would react?
I can answer the second question easily, then I can answer the first.
Okay.
I think with a lot of things, and I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, so I'm going to just blanket over it. But I think there's a lot of things that we are not told and not shared with, and I think a lot of stuff is hidden.
1000%.
Right, so I don't believe anything that I read because I think everything's got a twist on it because that's just what we're being fed and led to believe. So there's that, just the one myself. So what does the world think about it? It would be a cover-up, which is why I get curious, because you do hear about these alternative theories. When you mentioned that there was alien debris that was found back in the 40s, immediately I thought to myself, well, how do we identify that? Could it be old warplanes? Could it be like, you know, that something happens to metal over time? Is it something that just cannot be explained scientifically because something out there in the universe has done something to some metal that has been debris, like sky debris or whatever? If I found an alien or bumped into one,
Knocking on your back door. Knocking on your back door.
It's going to be like the scene in E.T. That's how it's going to be for me. It's something with that kind of long face and the hole for the eyes.
We don't know what they look like.
We don't. You see, but where did that image come from? Who constructed that image? Did it come from the sightings?
Yeah.
Or now do we all believe that they're
Yeah, that's the thing. Has it come from somebody actually seeing one at some point in Area 51, maybe?
Right.
Or over these things and going, yeah, that's just that. But also, like, if you think as well, like in movies and things, they're also depicted as like the Transformers and things like that. And like, why do they always have arms and legs like we have?
Yep. I mean, aliens.
I know in movies this is why, but like, we don't know what they actually look like.
No, but we've got these. We kind of are looking for something that may or may not exist based on somebody else's, you know, interpretation of that, which is kind of crazy. Which is a bit like, you know, with the world cover it up. Well, they feed us what they want us to believe anyway, so it's the same kind of thing. But one thing that really does throw me, that really raises my curiosity level, is the idea of crop circles and UFO sightings.
Egypt as well, pyramids.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come back to back to yours, but pyramids. Let's talk about pyramids after that, because I'm very, very onto that. Yes, crop circles. Now, I'm sure they happen in America, but crop circles to you are?
They are literally impressions in fields, wheat fields, or any kind of crop field where there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason as to how they got there. Yeah. As in, there's no kind of tractor marks or footprints or any kind of print at all from any vehicle object. It's like something literally did come down from above to create the circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they say for crop circles, an area standing crops that have been flattened in the form of circular or more complex patterns. No general cause of crop circles have been identified, although various natural and unorthodox explanations have been put forward. Unorthodox, like who writes these things? Many of these circles have been known to be hoaxes. It's like, who has time to suddenly, and they're beautifully done and beautifully measured out.
That's the thing, they're perfectly symmetrical and intricate on the inside.
Like who's got time to do that to begin with?
And in the dark, without being seen.
Without being seen. And then like, and the size of some of them, you're just like, because I went, oh no. So that's the thing, I've seen many of them in the UK and you're like, that means they've landed well, if it is a spaceship landing, like nobody's seen a big spaceship that size. So they must be invisible or something. How do they not let us see?
And then I think to myself, okay, well, let's just try and be more like, let's think about this differently. What about if the farmers were playing a prank, right? And they decided to put some kind of crop kill in a certain formation so that some crop grew and others didn't. But then when you look at them, when they're photographed, you don't see any kind of dead croppage.
No.
I can't figure it out.
No. And that's why I have a big thing around, I maybe because I love Stargate, a TV show, where they talk about that, like the pyramids are just like, because they're connected to the stars and things like that. And I know they're very much connected to the gods and things like that, but there must be some kind of sci-fi connection and things like that to them. That's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
where my mind
it's
goes.
universe again, isn't it? It's space. It's out there. It's something
And as again, we are very, very tiny.
very teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny. There must be like surely others. And look, I do hope, going back to my question, in the sense of if I met one, I'd be like, as long as it might make me jump when I first see one, because I don't know what they look like, but I might have met one. I never know. You might have met one.
Yeah, I
You just
mean
never,
that's a whole that's blown my mind.
you just don't know whether you met one just yet. They might be able to just transform into looking like us. You never know. But from a world perspective, I'd hope we lean in with curiosity and learn and not just shoot the F out of it.
Well, again, I'm going to be tight-lipped about that response, that answer to that question. I think you know where I might be going with it. But yes, at the end of the day, like you, I do not believe we're the only ones. I can't believe that we are a rotating ball on an axis in the middle, floating in the middle of space. We can't be the only planet in this entire universe that just is beyond any of our understanding and depth to be the only living beings.
And you would have thought with all the, like, like obviously send all these like satellites and all of these other things into space, and you can go millions of billions of miles now and get images back, that you might have just gone to a more local one and checked out to see if there's anything living there.
I mean, honestly, to be on the inside of NASA, wouldn't that be like a day in the life of?
Or working for Area 51. That'd be even more interesting one
I
as
want
well.
to dig into that a little bit more. Area 51. I think that could be a good day out for us.
It could be more than just a day out. As assume is in Vegas.
You know what?
Let's just think about as well. So what other alien kind of movies and TV stuff have you like influenced your view of this, and like which ones have you loved and which ones like if the most famous one, the most famous actresses like Sigourney Weaver, Aliens, Sigourney Weaver kicks ass. Those aliens were scary as F.
Yeah. So much so I kind of watched it like that.
I know, right? I was like, hang on, so that opened them out, and then this other set of like, it was just like, and then oof.
Yeah.
I've watched them all, but I just always like,
Ah, the wolf.
yeah. What other alien ones?
So a really random one for me was can I name drop the name of the show, the name of the show?
I just dropped like Sigourney Weaver's movies, so yes, I'm sure you can.
Fantastic. So basically, I watched recently I say recently, maybe a year or so ago, this thing called Skinwalker Ranch on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's about this ranch that has these weird phenomena which they can't explain. And I don't know why, but I was just massively hooked. Anyway, it's something that you should definitely watch. I think if you haven't watched it, you'd really enjoy it. It's an easy one just to watch. You can series binge it very, very quickly. But common themes included like mutilation of cows. Like that's obviously quite a common thing that you hear about when there's like alien presence or UFO presence. That means that these cows are kind of like cut or maimed in some way, but so perfectly precise with no blood loss. And this was happening on the ranch, and they saw these kind of sightings. Anyway, it was just one of those things that I got completely hooked into, and it really makes you think.
It's making me think right now. If you look at my facial reaction, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that. If you're listening online, go and watch the YouTube with my facial reaction just then, because it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of cow mutilation?
No.
Oh my gosh, that seems to be one of the very synonymous connections to UFOs or alien visiting our planet. Is
it just cows?
Predominantly cows, yeah.
Interesting.
And they
love about cows.
So why say again?
I wonder what they love about cows.
So there's something about the way that the cow can sense certain things. So if they feel a presence, which they believe there was on this ranch, the cows will avoid that area. And then the cows will kind of go about their daily business, but they will move in a herd. And then they will act very indifferently to the norm when this presence appears. And there's no explanation for it. But suddenly, one day, there was like 30 cows in this field. There was this kind of like weird behavioral change in these cows. And then in the morning, when everyone went to bed, and the next morning they came onto the ranch to check everything, one solitary cow was in the area where the rest of the herd had avoided, and it had been completely mutilated. yet there was no sign of blood, no, and there was like, you know, organs removed, but to the surgical precision, you know, of like the top surgeons, even living as humans, they can't explain it.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating. And
I'm
then
going to have to go and watch a documentary on that or something.
like what's that? Is it the Geiger counter? You know, that read that you measure high radiation levels. Suddenly there was this kind of like homestead that had been like abandoned. It used to be a place where people would live on the ranch from decades ago, like years, hundreds of years ago. And there would be like suddenly very high readings of like these radiation levels that they couldn't explain, that were there 1 minute and then were not there the next.
I'm sure shit like this happens all the time.
It must have been. This was in Utah, funnily enough, and that's one of the big sightings for UFOs, because I think in the states, in the 50 states of the US, California is at the top, and then as you go further through. But it was just interesting to me that this is a very wide, barren landscape.
Do you know why California? Go on, Karen.
And so, like, if you're looking at the sky, like, really, you haven't got much light conflict there because it's a dark sky. So if you see something and it looks unusual, it's going to be very apparent somewhere like that.
Wow.
So I don't know.
I'm gonna have to do some research on that as well, because I find that fascinating.
It was
And
so.
I want to understand, why just cows? What is there any other animal? And just to your point over why California's high, is basically just because they're on their way to Nevada and to Vegas. To land there, to land at Area 51 and then go gambling.
There you go. It's the route through, isn't it? They're obviously coming from the north. Oh dear. Anyway, there we go. I suddenly got on my high horse with all that, didn't I?
No, but I found it fascinating. I do. I just find it in the sense of there's a lot we don't know. There's a lot of kind of family conspiracy theories and all these kind of thoughts and fictional kind of things. And obviously, a lot has been made fictional. Look at Star Wars. Look at one of my favorite movies, The Fifth Element, and all kind of other planets have been defined, especially like the Marvel universes and things like that. And you just go, that's great. And I'm sure, I know that's coming out of somebody's mind, but I believe they exist for sure.
Yeah, I do.
But that's personal. So,
absolutely. I think what this does is it just gets the juices flowing in the mind. It gets you thinking outside of a box or not.
Yeah.
And what's so lovely about this is that we're not pushing opinion onto anybody. We are just having a chat with Dave and Jude, having a chat amongst ourselves, and maybe we might entice some others to think, you know, in a certain way or not. But regardless, it's an interesting one. Yeah, no,
but that's listeners, if you believe, let us know. Believe in the comments. Believe or not. What's your favorite alien TV memory, or alien memory from TV or movies and things like that? We spoke about E.T., Independence Day, all these other movies and things like that, because it's really interesting how it takes you back down a memory lane as well. It's cute, right? But yeah, make sure you subscribe with your to our channel on YouTube, and if you jump on our Instagram and Facebook and press like, we will love you forever. This has been another random chat with Dade and Jude. I'm Dade.
I'm Jude.
We will see you soon. Take care.